What if I told you Valentine's Day didn't begin with roses, chocolate, or candlelight dinners? It began with blood. Long before heart-shaped cards and romantic Instagram posts, February 14 was connected to secret marriages, brutal executions, and a mysterious Roman festival that shocked even ancient historians. This is the dark origin of Valentine's Day. To understand the story, we must travel back nearly 1800 years to the Roman Empire. In the 3rd century AD, Rome was not peaceful. The empire was under constant military pressure. Wars were everywhere. Emperors rose and fell quickly. Loyalty was fragile, and soldiers were everything. At that time, the emperor was Claudius II. He was a strong ruler, but he had a serious problem. He believed Roman men were becoming weak. According to legend, Claudius noticed that married men were reluctant to join the army. They didn't want to leave their wives and families behind. In his mind, love made men soft, and Rome needed warriors. So Claudius made a shocking decision. He banned marriage. Young couples were forbidden from getting married. Love was not illegal, but commitment was. And that's where the mystery begins. Somewhere in Rome, there was a Christian priest named Valentine. We don't know everything about him. In fact, historians debate whether there was one Valentine or two different men with the same name. But the most famous story tells us this. Valentine defied the emperor. Secretly, in hidden rooms and dark corners of the city, he performed marriages for young couples. He believed love was sacred, he believed marriage was holy, and he believed no emperor had the right to destroy it. Imagine the risk. If he was caught, the punishment would not be a fine, it would be death, and eventually he was discovered. Valentine was arrested and brought before Emperor Claudius II. Some legends say Claudius actually liked him at first. Some say Valentine even tried to convert the emperor to Christianity. But when he refused to renounce his faith and stop performing marriages, Claudius ordered his execution. Valentine was sentenced to death. He was beaten, imprisoned, and on February 14, around the year 269 AD, he was executed. But the story doesn't end here. According to later legends, while Valentine was in prison, he befriended the jailer's daughter, who may have been blind. Some stories claim he miraculously healed her. Others say they formed a deep emotional bond. Before his execution, he supposedly wrote her a letter signed, "From your Valentine." Whether this part is true or not, it became part of the legend. And slowly, over centuries, a man who died for defying authority became a symbol of love. But here's where things get even darker. Before Christianity officially adopted February 14 as Saint Valentine's Day, the Romans already celebrated something during this time. It was called Lupercalia, and it was nothing like modern Valentine's Day. Lupercalia was held around February 15. It was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, and to the legendary founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus. The rituals were intense. Roman priests would sacrifice goats and dogs. Then they would cut strips of animal hide, dip them in blood, and run through the streets, slightly striking women with them. Strangely, women welcomed this. They believed it would make them fertile and ensure a healthy pregnancy. Even more shocking, there was a matchmaking lottery. Young men would draw the names of women from a jar. The two would be paired for the duration of the festival, sometimes longer. Love was random, passion was ritualized, and fertility was the goal. Historians believe that as Christianity spread across the Roman Empire, church leaders wanted to replace pagan festivals with Christian holiday. So in 496 AD, Pope Gelasius I officially declared February 14 as Saint Valentine's Day. Lupercalia was banned. The brutal fertility festival was replaced with a saint who died for love. But something interesting happened next. For centuries, Valentine's Day wasn't actually romantic. It wasn't until the Middle Ages that the things changed. In medieval Europe, people believed that February 14 was the beginning of birds' mating season. The famous English poet Geoffrey Chaucer even wrote about Valentine's Day being associated with romantic love in the 1300s. Gradually, the idea of February 14 as a day for lovers began to grow. By the 1700s in England, couples were exchanging handwritten love notes. By the 1800s, printed Valentine's cards became popular. And then came the real transformation, the 20th century. Companies saw opportunity, chocolate brands, flower companies, greeting card business, jewelry stores. Love became profitable. Today, Valentine's Day generates billions of dollars worldwide every year. In the United States alone, spending often exceeds $20 billion annually. What began as a band marriage ceremony and a brutal Roman ritual became one of the most commercialized holidays on earth. But here's the real question. Was Valentine a real hero of love? Or is this entire holiday a mixture of legend, politics, and business? Historians still debate the details. There are records of multiple Christian martyrs named Valentine. The romantic prison layer might be a myth. The connection between Lupercalia and Valentine's Day is imperfectly proven, but the timing is suspicious. What we do know is this. Valentine's Day was not born from chocolates. It was born from defiance, from faith, from sacrifice, from an empire that feared love more than war. And maybe that's the most powerful part of the story. Love has always been dangerous. It challenges authority. It resists control. It survives even under threat of days. So next time you see roses and heart-shaped box, remember the darker history behind them. Because Valentine's Day didn't begin in a restaurant. It began in ancient Rome with a man who refused to let love be illegal. And that is the untold story of Valentine's Day. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden history, subscribe to Past Unlocked, where we uncover the truth behind the world's most famous stories. Because history is never as simple as it seems.